Life Coaching with Ryan Book Club, episode, well, let's call it 4. Of The Willpower Instinct by Kelly McGonigal. Funny story. You know how in episode 0 I said I was going to try to get the entire book done in a month and maintain that for all the books going forward? Yeah, I don't know how reasonable that is. So, I am for sure going to do releases on Monday. I may be doing just one chapter at a time, at least in the near future, and we'll figure out release schedule from there. But today I want to talk about Chapter 7, as always. Got all my notey notes. So this one I nicknamed Discounting Desire. Specifically, once again, we're getting that little flavor of the scarcity mindset affecting our ability to have good willpower. Multiple examples throughout the chapter of participants in studies taking smaller rewards now and foregoing getting larger rewards later, essentially discounting the value in the future of the item. So if I could get $100 in 4 weeks, or $20 now, a lot of people will choose the $20 now because they could talk themselves into it for all sorts of reasons, either because, I don't know, that person's actually going to have $100 in the future, or what have you. Pick your poison. They have that concern, so they'll take the 20 now. They discount the value of the $100 they'll get in the future and just accept the smaller payment now. And this is interesting as well when it comes to offsetting potential future gain from restricting yourself in a behavior now. For example, someone who's trying to lose weight and they see the really tempting sweets in front of them. There's a tendency to, I can always behave better tomorrow. We talked about this kind of a little bit in the last book club episode with the what the heck kind of attitude. When you screw up, you may as well screw up all the way. Well, there's also this idea of making your future self take the burden of what your choices are today. So let's have a little antidote to that in the example of the 10-minute rule. So Kelly talks about reducing your discounting by waiting 10 minutes before making any decision that would impact your long-term goals, whatever it happens to be. If you're trying to write every day and you keep finding yourself playing video games, then make yourself wait 10 minutes when you first feel the urge to play video games. And see how you feel after 10 minutes. That reduces the discounting, the immediacy of the playing the game. By not playing immediately, you reduce the sense of what you'll earn in the future because you're going to reflect on it more. You'll reduce overwhelm. The intense feelings you have right then of wanting to do the thing that you're, quote, not supposed to do, unquote. You'll also increase your willpower reserve because, again, you're increasing your awareness. Increasing your awareness gives you more choices, etc., etc., etc. She also talks about the classic marshmallow test, which, if you don't know, there are videos online that are absolutely adorable of these 4-year-olds, I believe they're 4, having 2 marshmallows put in front of them. And the researcher asks the child to wait to take a marshmallow, and they will get the other marshmallow as a reward. But if they eat one marshmallow right away, then they don't get to eat the second one. So what's interesting about this study is they did it longitudinally. They followed these kids through their lives, and they found the ones that were able to resist the marshmallow the longest were the most successful in their lives. So my question is, could those kids be trained to discount their futures less, and potentially be more successful in their lives? Because I'm presuming the researchers didn't interfere in any way and they just tracked. So I wonder if there's intervention, and how early an intervention, because we know that we can apply that intervention to ourselves now. With our metacognition, we're able to consider the results of our actions. But could you teach that to a small child? and how young could they be and have it still be effective, helpful, useful, etc. And I also wonder if there's any type of connection between this study and the persistent conversation between growth mindset and fixed mindset. I don't know, but it just makes me very, very curious. Once again, we have a clear connection to an abundance sense of the world. You're going to get what you need versus a scarcity sense of the world. Not so much, again, with the moral development of a small child, but overall, it's just repeated over and over and over again in different contexts in different ways. So let's talk a little bit about solutions in general for discounting your future. One, or rather the overarching, is pre-commitment and accountability. So there's a story about Cortez burning his ships when he makes it to the Americas so that his soldiers can't run away and can't be afraid, so they're committed to the task. You can also do this by limiting the choices of your future tempted self by planning for what your tempted self will want to do in the future. So if you're a shopper, then perhaps you leave your credit cards at home when you go window shopping. Or you only pay for things in cash and you make sure you don't have any way to get cash. So you only have the $20, you can spend it how you want. You're taking actions now, you're limiting the actions of your tempted self in the future. Someone could also help hold you accountable. That's what a coach does. By helping you set goals, make a plan, follow through with that plan, and reflect on the positive or negative results of your choices around that plan, we're able to discount less, be more engaged, commit to our goals, stick to it. Fun anecdote, my partner Aaron, this is, I want to say, about 2 years ago, I was bemoaning how I didn't have any time to write, and I was going to create this future in which I wrote every single day. And her essential statement to me, without getting into all the details, was, if you don't write now, what's going to be different in the future? That really struck me. Because, again, I was pushing off into the future something that I could start working on immediately. That rattled in my head for about a year and led me to start writing my blog a year later, where I just said, you know what, I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to write something, anything, and just publish it. And I actually worked with my own coach on that very goal, to get myself into the habit to recognize that there was no magical future where I was suddenly going to have time. I had to prioritize it and make it happen. So there's this idea of future self-continuity. The kind of Venn diagram of your current self and your future self, the more they overlap, the more likely you are to achieve your goals. Brooke Castillo talks about, imagine the future that you want and be that person now. Put yourself in the mindset of the you in the future in order to achieve your goal. Wear it. Try it on. Speak as if it's happening or happened, and see how that affects your choices. I thought that was great. Kelly ends the chapter with this idea of being hyperopic as opposed to myopic. So people who have hyperopia tend to not be able to indulge in the moment because they're always pushing it out for some goal that they haven't yet attained. So she gives the example of herself receiving a bottle of champagne as a congratulations for getting into grad school, and every time she saw the bottle she said, I don't deserve it yet. And she waited 5 years. When she wrote her dissertation, finally cracked it open, and it was terrible. So she committed to basically putting more opportunities for celebration into her life for the things that she accomplished, instead of always pushing it off. So if that's you, if you're someone who's basically a workaholic, or nothing you've ever done is good enough, there's a good chance when you achieve something that you were waiting to feel good after you achieved it, you still won't feel good because you'll just push that off to the next goal. So consider how you might be having the opposite problem of everyone else, where you are always pushing off celebrating as opposed to you always having immediate gratification. So I'd like to ask you all a question to conclude the episode, a little visualization exercise. I want you to imagine your future self, the version that commits now to what you want. And I want you to tell me, what does that future look like? What are the benefits that you're currently reaping from having committed to that choice, to that goal? Be specific. If that doesn't resonate with you, project yourself into the future of where you keep pushing off doing what it is you want to do or resisting what it is that you want to resist to your greater goal. How are you suffering currently in that future? What's happening? What does it look like? Be specific. Let me know in the comments. Click the video, click the little comment bubble. Let me know what's going on for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will talk to you for sure on Monday, but maybe before. And there may be an announcement about a podcast coming out. Episode 0 might just be dropping tomorrow. You'll just have to wait and find out. Hope you all are doing well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.